r/AskReddit. Autistic people of Reddit, what would you like everyone to know? If I mention that I can't tell if you're joking or serious. Even if it's blindingly obvious that you were joking. I need you to bear with me when I ask. Because sometimes it is so difficult to differentiate between a joke and a serious sentiment. Don't use autism as a slur or derogatory term. It is honestly incredibly hurtful to hear. Especially because it spreads the misinformation that autistic and retarded are the same. Which simply they aren't. We don't fucking get autism from vaccines. Autism is not a fucking disease. If you could get autism from vaccines, it would be contagious. That autism isn't a one-size-fits-all diagnosis. It's a very broad, non-linear spectrum. More like a color wheel than a straight line. Also, just because you might not think someone looks autistic or you never would have guessed, doesn't mean they aren't. Chances are, those people expend a lot of energy masking their autistic traits to fit in. If I seem standoffish to you, it's literally because I have zero social skills and will not approach you to talk if you don't talk to me first. People who have bullied me in the past bullied me because I'm different and they made me hate who I truly was. As I got older, I learned to love myself and learned to embrace my flaws. That autism isn't a gift. I wish it was curable. I fucking hate having it. Every time someone tells me that I have a gift, I want to punch them. I have an autistic brother who hates anyone who touches him, talk to him or attempt to look at him. Only us, mom, dad, 3 brothers and 1 sister who have 2 kids, to talk to him or touch him or even stand behind him or in front of him. We tend to notice the weirdest stuff or things in the background. I understand your emotions. In fact, I understand them so well that my own emotions are influenced by other people's. And other people's emotions can easily overwhelm me. Emotional states of myself and others are easy to read. Especially in voice tone and expression. But I don't get your body language. At all. Yes, this isn't universal. I just get annoyed at the whole "you're all asocial. You don't understand emotions" when in fact it differs for everyone. I can read other people's emotions easily. But not everyone can. I forget to put emotions on my face sometimes. Some people I know get overwhelmed more by their own. Some can't read expression or tone like I can. Some can read body language where I go blank. We're not one size fits all. Oh. Infodumping. Opted to mention it because the sheer amount of horrid things that I have seen being aimed at autistic people for infodumping is nasty. We often get special interests in things. And enjoy gathering information and talking to others about them. We find someone to talk to about it and everything comes out. Talk your ear off for hours easily. And the details will often be very intricate. We don't mean anything other than being excited about the thing. We don't always catch on that you're not interested in the intricacies of George Carter's relationship with the Chiss ascendancy. Sorry. It's not just trying to show off. To look superior. Being elitist. Or gatekeeping. We're just excited over something we enjoy. When I seem slow to you, it's because I need you to be more specific in what you need from me. My brain is literally unable to play the guessing game. Edit 1. Oh my god. Thanks for all the upvotes. Didn't expect this. Thanks everyone. Edit 2. Thanks for the gold. First one finally. We are not all like Sheldon Cooper, Sean Murphy, Forrest Gump or other extremely autistic people in movies series. I have 1,000-yard stare. If you feel like I'm staring at you, I'm either not, or I'm trying to cudgel my brain into coming up with something nice to say to you. Please don't treat me like I'm a creeper or a stalker because it's hard enough to form anything approaching human attachments, and you yelling at me to stop staring is a blow to my self-esteem. I was diagnosed with Asperger's at the age of 11. I feel like I'm part of a play where everyone has the script except me. 90% of autistic people just act like normal people but more introverted. 10% act like Chris Chan. I'm in that 90%, but I have a kid in my SPED class that is definitely in that 10%. Reading through these comments, I'm getting worried that I might have autism. How did you who have autism find out? That not everyone with autism is like Rain Man. We can't all recite from memory what day of the week certain events happened or our sevens, however we all have different strengths and some of us have intense interests that we know a lot about. We are not a party trick for this either. We think differently. Yes. We operate differently. Yes. But we are still human. We still have feelings. Treat us as a human person. And the "but they are special people" thing won't even matter. Personality traits. Ideals. Bonds. Flaws. Dreams. We have them. We just need to work a bit harder. Or smarter. Autism is not a disability. It is a benefit. We can see things differently. Hear things differently. Understand things differently. We are still like you or the next bloke. But we are still us. Different. Yet the same. Don't touch me. Or stand behind me. I hate waiting in lines. Contrary to popular belief, we're not psychopaths. That shit's been debunked eons ago. The fact that we oftentimes don't know what to do with that information doesn't mean we don't have empathy. I am going to say something that offends you. It's going to happen. "You don't look autistic" is the worst thing you can say. Like, yeah. I know that you would never guess that I'm autistic without me explicitly telling you that. That still doesn't mean that I'm not. Not everyone with Asperger's syndrome is out to be a jerk, and our interests or hobbies do not define our personality as people. More so, I struggle with my emotions just like everyone else, and it is not like I am not able to feel empathy. If I'm asking questions that seem dumb even though I seem smart most of the time, just answer them. Sometimes all I need is the context I'm asking for to help me sort things out. Please don't be one of those people who assumes autism means we have a high or low mental age. I'll be insulted if you talk to me like I'm 8. I'll be confused if you talk to me like Albert Einstein. Textures and sounds are painful. Sometimes even being touched can hurt. This world is very isolating for many of us. Some are too autistic for the NT world and some aren't autistic enough for the special needs world. No. Not everyone is a little autistic. You don't understand why, how, what. Some of us may have flat tones and cannot express emotion, but we do feel. And the autism jokes sometimes make us sad and or angry. Meltdowns and tantrums. In a meltdown you lose all awareness and it can be very dangerous. Just because I'm quiet doesn't mean I'm snooty or aloof and desire to be excluded. We're not autistic from vaccines. I know Karen said so, but it's fucking delusional. You are my friend until you prove to me that I can't trust you. Also, I'm mentally all there but in a different way to you. Think of it as a cube and cuboid that both have the same mass and volume. Autistic is not a good way to describe a stupid person. It pisses me off when I'm watching a stream and the streamer someone else calls someone autistic when they die, even if they were. It's not their fault. Also, autistic people aren't stupid or dumb, they just think differently to other people. Every autistic person is different. Some hate physical contact. Some love it. Some can't speak. Some can. Do not assume we are all the same ever. I can pay better attention to what you're saying if I'm not looking at you. So when my gaze wanders and I'm staring at the floor or the walls, or anything but you, I'm listening intently. I just can't focus on looking at you or making eye contact and understand what you are saying at the same time. If I look at you, I won't hear you. If you call me on the phone, I will also not hear you. Phones stress me out. Please don't smack, slurp, and make other obnoxious chewing noises when you eat. Autistic adults exist. It's not like as soon as we turn 18 we wave our autism goodbye. Some of us don't scream, kick out, or are non-verbal. Some of us are just like normal people. We can either not express our emotions well, or we are extremely sensitive to emotions. If I'm looking at your shoes or behind you when I'm talking to you, it means I'm paying attention to what you're saying. I'm not ignoring you. Ever heard of autism hidden in plain sight? Next time they want to make one of your stupid autism jokes in class, keep that in mind. Someone is sitting in there. Already feel bad about having the diagnosis and being scared what people might think. It doesn't help us. It just makes us shut up even more. We are everywhere. You just doesn't see. Sometimes I get really upset about things that may seem small to you, but for me they might mean a lot. An example of this is that one day me and some classmates were doing a group project and my classmate's letters A looked like U, so I picked up a marker to fix them. Then she grabbed my hand and told me to stop because it was not important, and I got really upset, and when I was about to cry she told me that I was exaggerating this whole situation and they seem absurd to someone else, but to me it was really important. Epstein didn't kill himself. Sometimes my brain hard locks trying to process sentences out loud, sort of like when you can't remember a word, but for the entire sentence forming apparatus. The analogy I use is when a program goes not responding on your computer, it's not thinking or waiting. It's just stopped and spam clicking on it does nothing. Either have to wait for it to kick back into processing or restart from scratch. Had a job interview where they asked me a question that I didn't have an answer prepared for. And I spent a very awkward, what felt like 5 minutes, 30 or so seconds of silence where I knew I was supposed to be talking. But my brain was stalled. It's not that I couldn't work out what to say. It's that I couldn't work out how to speak. I don't care what you say, I will be a police dog handler. If we freak out, it is because we are having trouble processing something. For example, I have texture problems, and if something happens, just give me space and time. I am autistic and extroverted. Don't tell me I'm not autistic. Don't expect me to be socially extroverted. But when my topic of interest is being discussed, I will absolutely engage. Just don't ask me for drinks afterwards. That Autism Speaks is a hate group. The Autistic Self-Advocacy Network is a better organization to support. Just because I'm quiet and don't say a whole lot doesn't mean I'm stupid, it means I don't have anything meaningful to add to the conversation. I didn't get autism from a vaccine. And even if I did, it is much better than having polio or a life-threatening illness that could come from not getting vaccinated. Not autistic, but using the word autistic as an insult is a really shitty thing to do. Unable to make eye contact when conversing with someone. Tend to have a lot of accidental eye contact with random people without realizing it, often when just walking past them or whatever. Having to act normal is so fucking straining. I'm monotone and don't like being touched. But family and social pressure, including having teachers screaming in my fucking ear to act normal. Not normal, but a non-disabled normal. I'm always multitasking, acting, dealing with sensory issues, sight, sound, and touch, and doing whatever I am. It's like being in the closed for a gay person in a bigoted area, which I was. The stress broke me in different ways. I was also supposed to be the good autistic who could prove we were just as smart and worthy as normal kids. We're not all introverted. I love going out and talking to different people. Trying new things. Physical activity can be difficult as we have coordination issues. I have trouble at jobs because I don't talk about my condition, as I have been terminated for it or threats of termination. The people in charge who should do something about the discrimination are usually against me. Or they treat me like I'm trying to freeload off the system. I have other disabilities and doctors, teachers, etc. only tell me it could be worse instead of being helpful. There's more if this gets enough attention. We don't all stim. No, seriously. I know tumblers made it into practically the most defining autistic trait. But not all of us do it. There's way more about being autistic than stimming. Also, stim boards are stupid. Let me explain to you in full detail. Don't tell us to smile and definitely don't touch us without consent. I am really looking forward reading all the answers. I have a 10-year-old autistic nephew who still is unable to fully express his emotions with words. I always try to make sure he understands that I love him. Thanks for asking the question, OP. I just wanted to drop a reminder of the fact that Andrew Wakefield is a scammer. Being autistic does not mean a lack of empathy. We may not express or process our feelings the same way as neurotypical people do. But it does not mean we don't have feelings. I also get distracted very easily by other things and get confused if the things I know get challenged, like in grammar. I'd like everyone to know that we are not all Sheldon Cooper or good at maths. High functioning autism in women displays very differently than in men, which leads to many women being underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed, often with bipolar or BDP. It is believed that due to social expectations on girls from a young age that high functioning autistic females learn to mask and hide the things that make them stand out better than boys. Which leads to women who seem fairly normal if not a little quirky, but are trying really fucking hard all the time to keep up this appearance. It is absolutely exhausting and people are far less understanding when you have a meltdown because you seem so normal. Sometimes I don't get jokes. It annoys me to no end. Sometimes don't pick up on sarcasm either. So when I make a joke or use sarcasm, I try my best to make it blatantly obvious that it's just a joke sarcasm. Hello. I play fricking Minecraft what? Also personal space G's. I'm not on the spectrum but my brother is. It is and has always been completely inappropriate to make fun of someone with autism. Especially in 2019. The snickering BS will make me start to riot and I don't care about the aftermath. I am certain that as a family member, I'm not the only person who would. I need people to know what you can get your ass rocked or embarrassed out here if you don't know how to act. When I don't get something, don't get frustrated. When I mess something up that seems simple, don't patronize me. When I miss an obvious social cue, don't beat me down. I'm doing my best. And chances are if you let me I'll laugh it off with you. I know I'm not the same. And I play that to my strength. Because people often find my mix-ups at least a little funny. So I make them hilarious. Just because I'm autistic doesn't mean I'm inferior. It just means that I'm different. And that's beautiful in its own right. Autistic does not mean stupid. Like almost everything in life, autism is a spectrum. There are people who have a harder time than others. There is no one severity of autism. I'm a highly functioning autistic teen. But I would still like people to know that social interaction still isn't a strong suit of mine. Eye contact is very difficult. I am not a genius savant. Or a child brain idiot. I'm a guy who can understand things. Who struggles. People don't see a middle ground. You get talked to like a child. And people expect too much from you. It's driving me mad. I cannot cook. It doesn't come easy. And everyone expects me to get it done easily. That eye contact is a weird horrible thing and I don't know how you people do it. I might be different. But that doesn't mean I wanna be treated any differently to anyone else. I hope this blows up because people on the spectrum need more of a voice on society. I want to know more because people aren't educated about this stuff. Great question. Thanks for watching mate. Make sure to smash that star button for more high quality content.